Dude, it's Entity Crown Drago everywhere. Yo, Federico's also Entity Crown Drago, and that's the exact team that we just got done reviewing for Justin Tang. Like, you know, the team looks honestly a lot like this. It's going to be like Big Ursh, Torn, Ogerpon, probably going to be Imprison on the Entity as well. Very, very cool to see, right? Do you think VGC slow play contributes to events being slow? No, it doesn't. There's always going to be one person that's playing stall, and so every single round just goes to match time, but that's not really like the average player's fault. That's one person out of 1,000 like ruining it for a lot of people. Is it really bigger, or do way more players just have access to adult money? No, it's definitely bigger. But Pokemon's like developed the infrastructure for it. Yeah, we'll see how this round goes, right? So we see, let's remove this over here. So we're going into round 3. We have Alex Gomez playing Bolt Balance with Icy Wind, Icicle Crash, Pow. Very, very cool to see. Bolt Balance, note that they also have the Lando on that. So I really think that the Lando is very, very required to actually like balance out the Bolt like we saw on Victor from round 1. Very, very cool to also see the taunt on the Incineroar. I quite like that. So really cool team. I really like this more aggressive. Instead of like Bolt Balance, I call this like Bolt Aggro. It's the ability to like flip it on a dime and go for like Chien-Pao Ursh to just like steal a game and get game 2. Very, very cool to see. It's hard to bully out Sash Pow on the lead as well, because you want to bring the Incins to actually pin Pows, and it's hard to bring Incin to pin Pow when like you're staring down like a Landorus and an Ursh in the face. So I really tend to, you know, align myself a little bit more with these aggro Pow teams. I think Pow's a very, very fun Pokemon to play in this format, and it's one of the last few like 50-50 like skill check Pokemon that are still around. Like what I really like about this team is that almost all these Pokemon, 4 out of the 6, have an access to protection move. So very, very cool to see. I think that also the double dip ice on Pow. Surprisingly, that is not grass. No, most Pows have swapped to grass in this situation, but I wonder if like a high roll Icy Wind Ice Terra KOs a Landorus Eye. That'd be really cool to see. That way you can actually pin Landorus eyes if they have like follow me and stuff like that. That'd be really cool to see. And I wonder what Federico's gonna be playing. It is gonna be Entity Crown once again. This is the more standard variant of Entity Crown that we used to see back the first time we had Reg F, the one that I kind of went over. You know, this is the Mystic Water Ursh. This is the Entity that doesn't use the Imprison, but it does have the ability to like just flip back the Trick Room if you want. This is the standard Water Crown. This one looks like it would be a speed booster crown, just judging by the way the team is played. And then like the Wood Hammer Ogerpon instead of like the Stomping Tantrum. So very like old school. Holy moly, we just got gifted 10 subs. Oh my gosh, Moore's gifted 10 subs. Hopefully you're having a good time here, my friend. Hopefully you're enjoying EUIC. Happy to have you here. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. If you like this sort of content, please let me know. But I definitely do like Federico's team, and I just want to say thank you to Moore specifically for stopping by the stream super early to gift all those subs and say thank you, say they like the content. And yeah, I really like this sort of core from Federico. It's hard to say who I think wins this one, because I do actually think on paper, this is definitely a skill matchup. I would say this is probably like a 55-45 in the Bolt Balance team. I definitely think the Bolt Balance has the slight edge here, just because the Rillaboom really does slow down this team. And when the Rillaboom kind of gets going, it can slow down the Ursh, it can slow down the Regidrago, it kind of really makes the Crown have to, you know, ask for permission to unlock its expanding force and stuff like that. So this whole game is going to be a pivot around like, is Entity going to be able to have the terrain to stop fake outs? Is Entity going to be able to deny the Rilla? And the player who correctly utilizes their terrain control is going to be the one that actually comes out on top in this one. Now, both players obviously know this as well. And so what Federico's going to be trying to do is, well, if they ever want to pivot in that Rilla to take away terrain, they're going to try and catch them with like a repin of like pivoting in Regidrago to pin the Rilla with a Dragon Energy. So like what you might see is if Entity's ever on the board, you might see a read where they pivot in the Regidrago, pivot out the Entity, and then get the ability to then re-bring in the Entity right back in to stop the fake out and just pin both those Mons, because there aren't any fairy types other than the potential Fairy Terra Bolt on Alex Gomez's side. So that's the key to the matchup for Federico here. But that being said, I really do think that there's a lot of solid options for both of these players. I really like the Life Orb Lando. I think Lando is very good in this matchup. If you can break the Torn, the Lando is able to basically, you know, swing on home and get a bunch of big KOs here. So yeah, I would say this is definitely like like a 55-45 in Alex Gomez's favor. I know I've played hundreds of games with Entity Crown Drago, and did I just skip Crown? Do you just skip Crown? No, I think you still go Crown because Crown breaks the POW. And Crown is really good into the Bolt if you force the Terra. So I still think that you go Crown, at least for like game 1. What I would be doing is, since Entity has lower speed than the Rillaboom, probably a speed reducer or speed Entity, you can actually lead Entity Crown right off the rip and then pivot in something like your Ogerpon or your Ursh and then get ready to reap him with the Entity and then close Drago if they ever have a sloppy turn. That's how I would be approaching game 1 in this situation. But again, I just want to say thank you one more time to Morris for gifting all those subs. Holy moly, 10 subs. That's a whole heck of a lot of subs, my friend. Happy to have you here early in the morning. I wish that I could do a better job of thanking you, but I'm trying to get the YouTube video done, right? So, yeah, thank you so much, my friend. Happy to have you here. Hopefully you're having a good time, and we're going to get ready for this game. I still think Alex Gomez has the outs here, and with how popular we're actually seeing Entity Crown be in this tournament, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the players that are playing like the balance teams are like over prepared for Crown, because it seems like Crown's the team to beat for a lot of people. So like, let's see what this looks like here. Regidrago Entity, they're opting just to rip it off the first turn. But again, the Entity is very, very solid here. I don't agree with the Regidrago Entity lead. I think they probably thought they were going to see more like Incin, and they were trying to pop the Incin, and this board just kind of messes up the Drago really, really bad. Your appreciation is felt. I know you're doing your things, and mad respect. Well, thank you so much, my friend. Yeah. I wonder what is happening in this situation. I do not like the Entity Crown because we know that there is a Rillaboom in the back. I think it's going to be Rillaboom in the back and probably Bolt. It might be Incin, but it's probably Bolt. So we're just going to see a double up into... I think you... this is a hard one. I think this is fine, though. I think, so we talked about this when we first started analyzing what makes Alex Gomez's team really good, is you're cutting that speed control from like a Torn or a Wims for a POW, and you can't just like, you can't check both the Ursh and a Sash POW off the lead, right? And so I really, really like just being able to go full send all this damage and just get guaranteed stick damage on stuff. Really, really good stuff. You're going to be able to get a lot of damage into stuff. So there's Follow Me in the Entity. I wonder if the POW does get this KO. I wonder if the Ursh is going to get the KO. It's going to be hard to see. Let's see. Misses Icicle Crash. Oh, no. It hits it. That's Icy Wind. Oh, that's such cool tech. That's such cool tech. It looks like it might miss. It missed on Entity, though, right? Yep, it did. Yeah, it wouldn't even have gotten the KO there either. But, like, being able to get that speed drop on the Drago is actually really good. And then I wonder if the Drago picks up this KO. Probably not, even after a stat drop. That's actually still really good. So what we're going to see here is if that Icy Wind actually connected on Entity, it probably would have been in range for a second Icy Wind. So that's actually really bad, because now Entity is able to threaten the... It's now able to threaten the POW. That actually really sucks. I think if... I actually think if Gomez hit that Icy Wind, this game would have been over. That sucks. That's really unfortunate. But let's see what they want to do here. Yeah, because that's Stab Icy Wind. Like, POW still does significant... I think it has like an 80 base special attack. Still does a significant amount with Icy Wind even into the Entity here. Pivoting out the Drago. What for? Crown? Yeah, oh, it's almost like I play the game, boys. Sheesh. Let's see if this Entity's pivoting. I doubt. And let's see. It's going to be... looks like potentially special attack. He just goes for the Icicle Crash. Cool. No spinner, so it's not like, you know, you have to worry about your Sash getting broken. And you're just going to full send a CC into this guy. I wonder if you get the KO. Remember, CC is not like Surging Strike, so it's actually still can crit. And it has the Sword of Ruin boost, so it's actually always more damage just to go for like raw CCs into stuff. It's a lot of damage here. It was special attack. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Perfect. So Ogerpon's coming out here. So I wonder if we're just going to see Icy Wind. Icy Wind POW is just all the speed that you need. There's the Icy Wind. There's the CC. Icy Wind, do it. Just full send it. Icy Wind. Do it. Icy Wind. Come on. Click it. Surging Strikes Ogerpon. Icy Wind Surging Strikes. Just game it. Just game it out. You have all the tech you need to break the crown. I have faith in you, homie. Let's go. Full send this Ogerpon out. Make those reads. Live in the head rent free. Icy Wind does make the connections. It's going to make both of those Pokemon now slower than the Urshifu here. And the crown can't hit both. That's the value of like the dark type POW. This is actually like very similar to like game 1 that we saw with Victor Medina, how like I'm surprised that Davide didn't bring actually it was round 2. Sorry, it was round 2, not Victor's game. I don't know why they had like a Sash Urshi Dark against Iron Crown and they never brought it. And I just thought that was so weird because it makes the crown unable to just rip the expanding forces, right? You got to pick one. You got to deal with the dark type, or you have to like deal with the dark type's partner, and it's hard to make them pick both. And now it's too slow to really get anything done. And here's the Lando. Lando just pins this easy peasy, right? What could possibly be here? It's Drago. Yeah, we already saw it. Yeah, so it's Drago and it's not even a full anymore. So I feel like in this situation, like you have the EP. I think that you just Earth Power the Drago and you just go for the CC into the crown and just, or whatever you want to hit in the crown. It doesn't really matter. But you can just full send the Earth Power into the Drago. You probably actually pick up the KO on that. And right now, I think what they're doing is just thinking about what they want to do in game 2. They're trying to show the least amount of info. And that should just be game right here. So they don't want to show the last Pokemon that they have in the back. We're going to see the Drago Terrastalize. It's usually Steel Terra, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like some other weird Terra here. It's going to be Crown Terrastalize into water. Why not, right? Maybe in case like, Surging Strikes comes out, maybe you think you live something, or maybe they're just trying to buy as much time as possible to get as much thinking done. I don't see a reason to protect in this situation. I honestly don't, but it's fine. Don't have to be weird. Yeah, I don't actually like that play. I think you could have just won this game without showing your last Pokemon, and now you're putting yourself in a situation where you have to show your last Pokemon. Unless you're deliberately trying to show your last Pokemon to get your opponent to, I've done this before, where like you'll show a Pokemon and it's going to be the last thing that they see, so they think that like you put more value in it than you really do, and you just don't. But I think that you probably could have got away with like not showing the last Pokemon in that situation. Obviously, it's probably also just known by both players that it's going to be Rillaboom here. But at the same time, I think you probably could have got away with it. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, you just Grassy got the crowd. Yep. Easy peasy. So that's going to be game 1. And yeah, let's see. So yeah, like I said, the Rillaboom player doesn't even need the Rillaboom. Just really gives the Iron Crown team a hard time. So that's going to be game 1. You were talking about like, does Crown even really come to the game? I think you do go Crown for game 1. And I think that the whole Drago redirection thing just did not really work out. I think if I were to be utilizing this team, I would probably bring something like Entity over the Drago. That's what I would do. Like the POW just ran it over, right? The POW just completely controlled the match with Icy Wind, and it would have been even more of a steamroll if that POW actually hit that very first Icy Wind. So I wonder maybe if Federico is going to be thinking about, do I Trick Room this? Right? Do I actually go into a board state where I lead like Indeedee Ursh and then like you turn in a Drago, mitigate some damage, go for a Trick Room, and then have follow me with a redirection? That could definitely be something that they want to do in that situation. I don't know if like their backs is that up against the wall, but it's definitely looking like a really, really good matchup for Alex Gomez here. Very, very cool stuff. And I like how Federico like played the matchup. Their plan was to go Indeedee and then Drago and then Ogerpon. Their plan was to go double redirection. Basically, fodder the Indeedee, trade 1 for 1 or 1 for 2 with Drago, and then you trade 1 for 1 or 1 for 2 again with Drago. Like, I understand those lines. But it's also just kind of surprising to not see Federico if they're going to commit that hard. I'm surprised to see the Ogerpon in that first game over something like a Torn, because Torn just guarantees your speed control for all the things. They probably didn't expect POW to be leveraged as aggressively from Alex Gomez. It's also possible these two are from like both from Europe. It's possible they play each other frequently. It's possible they've scrimmed before. So like, I just think that like that game went a little bit too one-sided for how strong I believe both of these players realistically are. So let's see. There's the Torn Ursh. Very standard, right? There's the Ursh POW. So I would say in this situation, the better matchup right now is Federico right here. You know that we're probably going to see the Rillaboom and the Indeedee in the back for both of these players. So we have to think, like, is it Ogerpon Indeedee? Is it Drago Indeedee? Is it going to be Crown Indeedee for Federico? You got to think about which one it is. We're probably going to be able to tell on the first turn based off of who they're actually targeting on Alex Gomez's team. If they're targeting down the Ursh, it's definitely going to be a Crown game. If they're targeting down the POW, that would lean a little bit more into Drago, I would say, right? That's just my thoughts on how that's going to be, you know, approached here. So we're going to see Torn pivot out. This is probably Surging Striking Pal unless they're playing something weird. I don't agree with that. That's weird. You can't just bring out your Indity before the Rilla. That seems a little bit wasteful, but maybe they're trying to break Rocky Helmet Sash. But it's not even a... Yeah, this is fine. Well, are they close combating the Ursh? That's a raw read if they are. That's so deep, because like you would just lost the game to Tailwind in that situation. Alright, so Surging Strikes rips into the Indity, but now there's no more terrain, which means I wonder if it is Crown for Federico, because this is going to force a potential Rilla. I would like to see if Federico does go for the Surging Strikes into the POW. And it's weird that Alex Gomez over-respected the Torn. That gives me a tell that... Let's see. What does that mean that Alex has in the back? It doesn't even do anything. That is a fat POW. Wow. Yeah, that's Mystic Water Torn, or Mystic Water Ursh, sorry. That should definitely do more damage. I wonder what Pokemon Alex has in the back that they over-respected Torn that much to double it. But here's the Torn back once again. It's going to go for the Icy Wind. I wonder if... Well, the Ursh can pin here. You can just go Tailwind, but then, like, you're going to take too much damage. Your Torn's going to get pinned by Surging Strikes in this situation here. Do you sucker? I think... No, you don't sucker. I was like, you could sucker the Torn if they know they're going to Bleak Wind, but, like, you know, it's still flying. So you could technically hit Torn with the sucker, but they're Tailwinding here. So I wonder if we're going to see the Ursh, like, hard pivot, or, like, we might even see the... Oh, this is not a good situation for Federico at all. And Alex Gomez has taken the sweet time to make sure that they get all these things upright. So there's a Tailwind here. This is going to increase the speed of Alex's Pokemon. I really think the last Pokemon is Drago here based off how they're playing it. I think if they had Ogerpon, they would have sent that out. They go for the close combat, picking up the KO on the Urshifu. And I want to see if it's Icy Wind or Icicle Crash. It's going to be important. Both are really good, honestly. Yeah, Icy Wind. That's so good. So that's basically, that Urshifu is now at -2, but there's a Tailwind. So it's actually still functioning at base Ursh speed tiers. And then that's going to be Sash Torn. So not only is it going to be losing its Sash, it's not Cloak Torn. So it actually gets that speed drop. It's going to be Bolt as the last Mon. That's so weird that they over-respected Torn that much. Maybe just that they didn't have any matchup into the Ursh. That's completely fair as well. So they're probably thinking they could just bring out... they could definitely bring out Rillaboom here, but I think it is a much better play to bring in your Bolt. You want to bring in your Bolt, you want to get that first Fairy, you want to get that first Common off, you want to hard pivot out your POW to bring in your Rillaboom, get a fake out pin, get the terrain going, let Bolt start to restore some health here. Ooh, they're going to even play it even more passive. I think they're just going to drop a Protect on the POW and not have to pivot in the Rilla until they need it. That's even more passive. I would Calm Mind here. I don't think you need to keep the pressure up, but then again, I think the last Mon's Drago, and I wonder if, like, Alex Gomez thinks the same thing. It looks more like Drago, not Crown. I don't think they would have foddered their Indie that early if they had Crown in the back, right? And so Drago's, sorry, the Raging Bolt's really thinking here, like, I just need to save my Terra for Regidrago and I win the game, right? And I also think the way that Alex Gomez played game one without utilizing the Bolt, which is their only Mon that has a Fairy Terra, right? There's the Drago, right? It forces Federico to actually, like, have to overcommit to be like, oh, if you're not going to bring Bolt, I'm going full on the Regidrago, right? So it's a really good line here. Dragon Terra Tornadus. I don't particularly agree with that. That's too deep. It still shares the same ice weakness. I don't like that. That's not my jam. They're going to be able to block a Sucker Punch there, which is, I believe, is what POW went for, right? Because now you're grounded. And they do hit the Bleak when they pick up the KO on the POW. They miss on the Raging Bolt, which is actually not that significant. And let's see what this Bolt's doing. Is it Calm Minding or Dracoing? Not Draco, that's a Dragon Pulse. Into the Drago! And that's game right there. Like, that's game. There ain't nothing coming out of this one. Raging Bolt, Raging Goat here. You're going to take away the terrain. You're going to have a fake out pin. That's it. Easy peasy, man. So I told you, like, really, really good lines from Alex Gomez into, like, Psy Spam Crown. And that's exactly what I was talking about. We saw Justin Tang piloting a very similar, like, Iron Crown-esque team with Regidrago. And that's what I mean by, like, these Iron Crown teams have, like, a lower skill ceiling than some of these balanced teams. Like, there's only so much you can do, and it's not really your fault when you don't have the lines into like a really, really good balanced team. So it's like if there was a team that gave Crown like a really hard time, it would be like the full on Bolt balance. But other than that, I think both teams are really solid, and any one of these players could still end up winning the tournament, honestly.